What's up, YouTube? This is the action figure grader, also known as John, and I've got a very special video for you today. This is my first unboxing video, and because I am a recovering alcoholic and can no longer enjoy 2-for-1 specials at happy hour at the bar, I'd figure I'd do a 2-for-1 special with an unboxing. That's right, I've got two, count them, two packages that just arrived about 5 minutes ago, and I'm very excited about it. This one right here, is a modern Holy Grail Star Wars figure. And by Holy Grail, for those of you who are not nerds like me, this is a figure that is very hard to find. It's a modern Star Wars figure, but very difficult to find and highly coveted. There are very few of them available out there. And this package, this came from the UK. That's right, the United Kingdom, our lovely friends over in England that lost so badly during the American Revolution. But that's a different story. It says Fragile. Fragile. No, it's not French or Italian. It is from England. And those are two foreign carded Star Wars figures from the same line, but both very difficult to find in the condition that I have them. So I'm very excited. If you can't tell, I'm just a little excited about it. If you start to hear me breathe really heavily, no, I am not the creepy clown from Stephen King's It. I'm just very excited. Or it's because I'm morbidly obese and badly out of shape. But again, that is a different story for a different time. So unlike every other unboxing video on the internet where you watch the person awkwardly open the product and have trouble trying to get the product out of the box, I'm going to pause this video and unbox them off camera and then restart the video and we'll go through what we have. But I am super excited if you can't tell. It might have been the 3 pots of coffee I've had as well. So hold on 1 second and we'll be right back. And we are back. And before I dig into these figures, can I just say something? You guys need to be thankful that I opened these boxes off camera. I'm not even kidding. The one from the UK was double boxed and each individual figure was double wrapped. It would have been the worst unboxing video in the history of the world. And I'm still in the running for that. Don't get me wrong, I'm still in the running for that. But anyway, I finally got them out and I wanted to show you these 3 figures. These are 3 Power of the Force 2 graded figures. The Power of the Force 2 is different from the Power of the Force, which came out in, I believe, in 1985. Correct me if I'm wrong. The Power of the Force 2, which is what all of these figures are, started in 1995. It was the very first Star Wars line after the vintage line. And so these are, while they're considered modern figures, I mean, they're still 23 years old and change. But I've got 3 awesome ones here, and let me tell you, they're extremely rare. I would tell you what the AFA population report is, meaning letting you know how many of them are out there that have been graded by AFA. But the AFA's website is down today for maintenance and probably for some price changes, as I covered in a different video. But anyway, let's start with the bad boy in the middle. This is the... I'm going to scoot in just a little bit here, so I apologize for the camera work. This is the Weequay freeze frame action slide, US carded, the US version of Weequay. And you say, well, that kind of just looks like a normal everyday figure. Weequay was a Jabba henchman on the sail barge, and I think he was the very first guy to die in the Pit of Carkoon after Luke Skywalker slapped him around a little bit. What makes this one extremely rare is that they didn't make many of them, and especially on the US card, which is what this is. And it's very difficult to find, as you can see here. The freeze frame action slide started, I believe, in 1998. That's correct. And they included a scene from the movie. So as you can see, it's got Weequay trying to push Luke Skywalker into the Pit of Carkoon. And, this figure was very, very difficult to find. They didn't make many of them. And this one has been graded 85 plus. So it's near mint plus. The card got a 90. The bubble got an 85 and the figure got a 90. This is also in the archival upgraded case. See where it says archival? Archival! What that means is, for those interested, the archival cases from AFA have the upgraded 100% UV protection. And this is one of the better examples that's available out there. I don't know what the population report is for this one, but on my next video I'll give you the update once AFA's website comes back, but I can tell you, I bet there's less than 5 of these out there that are graded this high. 85 plus, and I'll go into this in a different video. 85 plus, that just means it's better than an 85, but not quite as nice as a 90. So it's kind of in betweener. That's a new grading system that AFA implemented recently. But this is an absolutely beautiful figure. It's considered a holy grail among modern Star Wars figures. I'm going to zoom in real quick so you can get a better look at the figures. The Power of the Force 2 line is kind of much maligned. They were heavily collected when they first came out by people buying them in droves at Toys R Us and elsewhere, obviously. Everyone was thinking they were going to make $1 million like they were like all the old vintage figures, but of course they were overproduced by Hasbro/Kenner, and most of them are worthless now. This one is not, though. This is a very, very difficult figure to find and one of the rarest of all the, I think there's 110 different figures. This is on the US card. You can see that there's no foreign language on this. I'll give you a quick shot of the back, which again has the freeze frame image enlarged, as well as a close-up of some of the later figures that were in the run. Tarkin and the Hall Stormtrooper are 2 of my favorites. I do not have either one of them, but they're very nice. These are actually my first graded Power of the Force 2 figures. I used to think this line was kind of silly because the figures are so He-Man-like. But as I covered in a different video on my Boba Fett, that was the style back in the 90s, was kind of He-Man and Avengers and superheroes and Batman, and all of those figures were kind of bulked up. Weequay is not nearly as bad as some of the ones I'll show you here in a second, but this is considered a modern Holy Grail, and I'm very happy to have it in my collection. It's an 85 plus. I guarantee you it's one of only maybe 5 to 10 that are out there that's graded this high. So one last look at the front and back. They also make in terms of these figures, they came on Canadian cards. They came on tri-logo European cards, and the Italians also had their own separate cards. And I've got 2 examples of those coming up. But Weequay, Modern Holy Grail, last look. Next, this is a very, very exciting one. This is a Italian carded 1995 gig Star Wars. And so this is the Italian version of the Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'm going to pump you up! I'm going to pump you up! Darth Vader. And what makes this one special is that this has what's called the transition tray. When the Power of the Force 2 figures first came out, as you can see, the original lightsabers were even longer. And right there, you can see the difference in size. They were just way too big. They were as big as the figure almost. And Kenner decided that, hey, these are too big. Let's go ahead and cut the lightsaber size down. So they stopped making the very long lightsabers, and they instead transitioned over to these smaller ones. Well, the problem was they had these bubbles already made. They had thousands and thousands of these bubbles. Maybe not thousands, but they had a lot of these bubbles made. And so the transition tray, they were using up the leftover trays and inserting the smaller lightsaber. Once those trays were finished, they switched over to the short lightsaber tray that matched the size of this lightsaber. But there's not many of these transition trays. There's 5 figures that this is available for. This Vader is obviously one of them. What makes this one fairly rare is that it is on the Italian card, so it's a very difficult figure to find. The other 4 figures were Luke Skywalker in his original farm boy outfit, the Luke X-Wing or Snowspeeder outfit. He also came in like a Dagobah training, Yoda training outfit, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. By far the rarest is the Obi-Wan Kenobi, and it goes for a lot of money. But this Vader on the Italian card is incredible. It's very difficult to find. His figure is way too bulked up. They thinned it out for later runs, but this is also graded 90, so near mint to mint. The card got an 85, the bubble got a 90, and the figure got a 90. So again, it's got the transition tray variant noted on there, and it is the Italian card. Guerra Stellare, mi dispiace. Primavera, eh? So this is the back of the card. Again, this is all in Italian. And here's some of the other figures that were available on the Italian card. But this is just one that this guy in the UK had. He's got a bunch of others for sale that I'm not keeping my eye on, but this is just too nice to pass up. You know, to get a 90 graded Italian transition tray Vader, very, very difficult to find. And again, this one probably has a very low AFA population report. So once AFA's website comes back up, I'll certainly give you guys an update as to how rare it is. But it's just a beautiful figure. Vader himself, I'll zoom in just a little bit if my camera will focus, but you know, he's just a muscle-bound freak. He looks like he's been hitting the bovine steroids a little too hard, and you know, but I like the quilting on the outfit. That's been covered by a guy on YouTube, Blacked Out Ewoks. I love his videos, and you know, he's got some similar transition tray figures, and that's, you know, I have to give fair props to fellow YouTubers. He really alerted me to these and got me kind of excited about them. So, you know, so I had to get a couple of them. So this is one. The last one on our list is also a beautiful, beautiful figure. It's a Boba Fett on the Tri-Logo card. These were available in Europe. As you can see, they call it Tri-Logo because it's got 3 different languages, the Spanish, the English, and then the French. And this is the 1995 Boba Fett, so it's still the 95. I should have known that because it's on the red card. The later releases, such as the Weequay, came on a green or yellow card, but you know, all of the original releases were on the red card. This Boba Fett is a little different from the one I showed you in a different video. He's got the full circle on his hand, on both hands, and you know, like I said in the other video, there's a half circle variant. There's one with no circles. So this is a fairly common variant, but the reason this one is kind of nice is because it is on the Tri-Logo card, and it also has the THX Cinema insert in the background. These were the THX inserts were just a variant that were available only in Europe, only on the Tri-Logo card, and I think there's 20 or so different THX insert cards, and that's noted on the AFA grading. My camera's having trouble focusing, but this is an 85 grade, 85 card, Bubble 85, figured 90, and as you can see down here, it's the THX insert. So, Power of the Force 2 red card, Tri-Logo. It's a beautiful card. You know, the same seller that had the Darth Vader had this one for a reasonable price, so I picked up both, and I'm glad I did. You know, like I mentioned, I have an American card, Boba Fett, that is heavily damaged. I'm going to send in for grading, for uncirculated loose grading, but this is a near mint plus example, and it's on the foreign card. Back of the card for you. As you can see, it's got a lot of languages that covers you know, information about Lucasfilm and so forth. And here's some of the other figures that were available, and you can see it's got 5 different languages on the back. I'm not going to pretend to know what they all are. I assume English, Spanish, French, I believe Dutch, and German are the 5, but don't quote me on that one. So I'm excited. This is my first unboxing, and I definitely got some nice ones for the first unboxing. I'm going to move my camera back so we can see these again in better detail. But there we are. We got the Weequay freeze frame on the US card, graded 85 plus. We got the Darth Vader on the Gig Italian card, graded 90. And then we have the Boba Fett on the Tri-Logo card, graded 85. This is my first unboxing. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions. I've got one other figure that is in the mail that I won't give it away what it is, but given the bender that I've been on with the Power of the Force 2 figures, you can have a pretty good idea that it's probably going to be along those lines. That's what we call a teaser in the industry, folks. That's a teaser. So stay tuned for the next video. Thanks again for watching.